everyone. A very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you. We have got a young, energetic, and highly experienced personality. He is none other than John Lord
Oh,
Cooper. A very warm welcome to you, John. Thank you so much for being with us.
I'm very glad to be.
Thank you very much. Now, before John, you say something, no doubt this platform is meant specially for you. But here is a small introduction that I would like to read it out. John. John Lord Cooper is a communication and psychology specialist whose work is shaped by remarkable personal resilience. After arriving in new country in 1980 with no resources and immense personal challenges, he discovered the power of inner drives to overcome adversity. He has since dedicated his career to helping people reach their goals from the inside out. John blends academic expertise with practical enjoyable tools like driver set training. We'll be knowing from him what does it mean, and the BDA habit method. Lovely. His style is warm, lively, and deeply human, making personal growth feel natural and achievable. Once again, a very warm welcome to you, John.
Well, thank you. Glad to be here.
And in the beginning itself, the most curious question that everyone has: how you became a person who shifted from one area to another area. Please let us know how your journey began and how you got drifted into this.
Of course.
John, please.
Yes, so I've actually always been very adventurous and love to try new things. And if I'm not satisfied or motivated in whatever I'm doing, I do something else. So I've actually had this is my sixth career that I'm starting now. So it's not for me. It's natural.
Please elaborate a little more.
Yeah, so I started off, I was a forester, and then for 10 years, I took care of a natural monkey colony. And for other years, I was a journalist. All of these things really have led together. And what happened was that a few years ago, I decided to stop everything else and just focus completely on doing one thing that combined all of the things that I had learned over all of these many decades of work.
So, in the beginning of the career, whatever you were, what was that one thing that you thought that it's missing and you altogether left that beautiful world according to me and you jumped to something very different?
Yeah, well, it depends. I mean, each time there was, sometimes it was an accident, like with the monkeys, and sometimes it was a plan, but it was always something that I felt was tapping into all of my own strength and all of my own interests and combining them. That's really what I like to do most, is to pull together all of my different levels and different aspects and focus them all into one project.
Just now you said that you focus on one particular item. You were struggling or you were once upon a time at different levels. Fine. Okay.
Yes.
Can you please elaborate what do you mean by different levels? Which were they? What were they? How you overcome those levels?
Okay, sure. Well, I started doing research about 16 years ago because I wasn't happy with the way that we explain the voices in our head. So I actually did a lot of original research, and that concluded that we actually have five different minds, that we have five
Mhm.
resources and five drives that push us. So, in terms of the of your podcast, Lead with Purpose, You could even say it's lead with purposes because we have many different purposes that we can draw on. And so that one thing led to another. I used it for all of my training and teaching. And then I decided to turn that into a program to help people all over the world.
Okay, but as you said that what I have understood is anyone who gets the knowledge, wisdom, expertise only by reading from outside, whereas you are a person who got something from inside and that you spread it out. So how
Right.
it happened, how that shift came. Please elaborate and tell in detail.
Well, I'm a little bit of a natural rebel, I have to admit. So I never liked the idea that I was always doing things to please others. And it led me to explore my own personality, my own core, and
Mhm.
to figure out what was it that I really cared about. And then after working on that for many years, I decided, well, why shouldn't I help other people to do the same in their lives? Because now society pushes us towards external validation and external motivation. But instead, what we really need to start with, especially now with the world such a crazy place, we need to start with what really matters to us and to express that and balance it, of course. You know, it's not just inside or outside, but balance our extrinsic motivation with our intrinsic inside out motivation.
Yeah, again you said inside out, inside out, inside out. So as a layman's language, what do you mean by inside out? What it is?
Well, you know that we're born with a lot of, like, the seeds of strengths. There's, you know, like human connection and curiosity and the, you know, symbols, all of these things. We're born with the capacity to learn them, and then we develop them over our lives. And then when we're 10, 11, 12 years old, then we develop the prefrontal cortex and the thinking part of our brain, which is very important, very valuable, but it's not dominant. It's one part, one tool. So it's like
Mhm.
a team in a business. You know, different people are specialists, but they all support each other in their own different complementary ways.
So to support them in a complementary ways, as you said, especially I think that the person who is little bit aged or the senior citizens, what would
Right.
be your advice for those people because they think that I have everything?
Well, if you think you know everything, then I'm afraid I can't help you very much. But I mean, I I know that with all that I've learned and done, that I know the tiniest fraction of what there is. But I do find that it's something that that will help other people. But in terms of older people, then, you know, as I think you know, I'm 78 years old now.
Really?
But I still have the passions and the purposes, these drives to contribute to the world. You know, I've had so many people help me. I really want to help as many people as I can. And this is not just a line, this is really who I am because I love working with people. I stay in contact with more than 1,500 of my ex students and colleagues and clients. Like every day, I talk to people. And so I love doing that. And this is really what combines all of my different strengths and not only combines it, but develops them. So for somebody who's old, they have the special advantage of so
Mhm.
much experience, of so many ideas that they can bring together if they just have the permission or a little bit of help to
Oh,
to focus all of their strength in one place.
great. And as you said, all it sounds to be a simple, easy, applicable, and as per your expertise and experience, no doubt. But as I have experienced, any person who is theoretical, thinks of keep reading the books only, works in laboratory only, perhaps he is not
Right.
exposed outside. So, how could you brought out yourself from that cocoon and come out to the world which is totally different? Please give
Well,
detail about it.
so, well, I have, there's a principle that I use of venturing. See, we can either think of, I want to be safe, or I want to face
Correct,
risk.
correct.
But there's a middle point, which is venturing. And that is where you start to act when you're not quite sure how it's going to go. You're not even quite sure where you're going to arrive, but you do know that you're going to get moving. And that venturing is the central strength of humanity. It's what drove us around the planet. It's what drives us to improve our lives, what drives
Mhm.
us to help other people. And so that venturing, I think, is the key, because anybody can do any kind of venturing. So, trying a new kind of food, or getting up 15 minutes earlier, or talking to somebody who you've seen but never spoken to, this kind of thing. Very small, but every one of those will enrich your day and your life.
Mhm. Wow. They are quite easy, practicable. One should definitely adopt it. Well,
I
as
agree.
I have understood, one should get up early, at least 15 minutes, and talk to someone. This is one of the
Right.
steps that one should adopt or use it in their life. Can you please name few other tips that one should include in their life, practice them, and enjoy the fruit?
Right. Well, one very important one is to think of our days not as a product, as like an
Hmm.
end result, but as a
Hmm.
process. And so it's never going to be perfect. It's never going to be clear. It's never going to go the way that we expect. But that's good, because that's part of the adventure. That's part of the fun. And so one tip is simply to say, I'm going to try this and I'm not sure how it's going to go. It might even not work. But if it doesn't work, then I've learned and I can do better the next time. And so if you see all of your opportunities and obstacles as opportunities to learn, then, really it energizes you. I'm full of energy right now. And
Hmm.
that's because I'm always ready to learn and to try something.
And doing this work, don't you think that the ego comes in between and that is the biggest hurdle? How you overcome the ego?
How do you overcome what?
Ego,
Oh,
ego,
okay. Oh, evil, did you say?
ego.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. Well, that's not my field exactly, but it's certainly something that I care about. I actually am a very spiritual person, and I've spent a
Hmm.
lot of time working with all this. So, if you think about the people who overcome someone who's destructive, let's say, who's really trying to hurt other people or something like that, if all that we do is we retreat back and say, "Oh, I don't want this to happen," you'll never do it. But if you say,
Hmm.
"Look at all of these different strengths that I have to draw on," then you can say, "You know what? I can accomplish it." And so, whatever that person is doing that I want to stop, you can do it, because they actually have fewer strengths than you do as a
Ah,
person who's fully developed.
oh, wow. And great. John, you have mentioned a word which at least I couldn't understand, and that's the drive set. Can you please give detail about the drive set? What
Of
it is,
course.
how it is to be implemented, what result you get.
Right.
Please tell in
Well,
detail.
of course, I had this idea that I learned from my research of the five minds, and I thought, well, maybe they are not just resources, but maybe they give us purpose. And so, for example, curiosity is one drive, and altruism, helping other people, that's another drive. Spiritual growth, but also other drives are like defending our families and
Hmm.
protecting our home and that kind of stuff. So as you can see, when all of these are aligned or working together, then you're really unstoppable. Now, we all know the idea of a mindset, which is good. It's useful, but it really only has two options.
What
And
are they?
that's a fixed mindset or a growth mindset. But
Hmm.
with a drive set, when you have these five drives, just think of how much more that gives you, especially because of something that mindset doesn't help us with. And that is
Right.
how to keep going even when we start and then we find there's an unexpected obstacle. With the drive set, it says, I'm not going to allow that to stop me. I'm
Right.
going to keep going. And mindset does not tell you how to do that, but drive set does.
So with that, how you have clubbed with the BDA method? What is that?
Okay. Yeah. So um, I've done a lot of research into, as you said, the psychology of communication, and they're actually chemicals, these
Mm-hmm.
neurotransmitters, and they go into our body in certain states, and we create them. Like joy, or a human connection, or satisfaction, something. So what I did was I worked out a way of of using these at the three times when we stop doing something. That's before we start, so we don't even begin. That's while we're doing it, so we might stop halfway. And that's also afterwards, because we need to have that extra little burst of energy to keep going another time, another time, another time. So if you have all of these neurotransmitters working in your body at those three times, it is really unstoppable. So right now, I go to the gym at 3 o'clock every morning. I mean, three
Are,
times a week in the morning,
hmm
to exercise by myself. Now you can imagine that that was not that easy to do, but I developed the system and used it, and so now I enjoy waking up at 2:30. I enjoy the prospect of going to the gym and using my muscles and getting stronger. In fact, I'm adding muscle now, which is unusual at this
Oh,
age. So it really works, and other people, whenever I train people to do this, it works more or less instantaneously.
so that is this that the reason that you are getting younger and younger?
I don't know. I think part of it is luck, but yeah, I've always led a very balanced life. I like being physically active. I'm very spiritual. I love my emotional connections. I love nature. All of these
Mm-hmm.
things, they feed you. If you let them feed you, they will.
Hmm. So you gave an interesting example, especially showing your self that how it's working. Lovely. Well, can you please give at least two more examples which are based on your BDA method?
Okay, well, let's say that you want to wake up earlier.
Hmm.
So what you would do is that before you go to sleep, you would
Hmm.
say, "I'll give you the script. You can
Hmm.
give the script to
Lovely.
people
I
who
will. I
want."
will love to use it.
Yeah. So basically, you say beforehand, "This
Hmm.
is what I will do, and I will feel
Okay.
good about it." And then, as you're waking up, instead of going back to sleep, you think, "Oh, look at
Yes.
what I'm doing now. I'm accomplishing this." And then afterwards, you say,
Oh.
"Wow, it's so nice that I got up earlier. Now I can do more." Right?
Hmm.
And so I will send you that, which
Hmm.
you or I can give to your audience. But
Hmm.
something else,
Hmm.
I've developed a little. It's like it's almost a game where you
Hmm.
investigate your drives, and with just a few questions, it will establish your own drive set personality or profile. And so I will give you that. You sign it, do it for fun. It will give you a lot of insights into what drives you. And then
Hmm.
you can use that to actually increase whatever goals you have in life.
Okay. 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 So that is the script that one should use. I agree. Fine. What are the other areas that a person should able to use this script? One is for getting early in the morning. Which are the other few
Okay.
areas?
Well, another one is, I mean, what am I doing now? I'm starting my sixth career at 77.
Oh, really? My
Yeah.
God.
And so the way that I'm doing that, whenever I feel depressed, I recently had some technical problems with my computer, as you know. And so part of me wants to give up, but a much bigger part of me says, look at all of the reasons that I have to keep going.
Okay.
And so let's say that you want to start a new career or a new hobby, or move to a new location or something like that. You can activate your drives and clarify it, because the problem here is that we have this idea of the subconscious. The
Hmm.
subconscious is not a helpful idea. It tells us nothing. It tells us what something isn't and where it isn't. But
Oh.
if you have these four drives that are
Hmm.
subconscious, that we now call subconscious, then it means that you have this entire team supporting you in whatever you want to do.
Okay. But John, as you describe all those things, I am really wondering that how do you find time? Because on one side you have to keep on digging all the knowledge and information. On the other side, that is one side, that is which you are doing, which of course
Right,
you are liking, which is known as the purpose. Whereas on the other
right.
side it is piso means money. So on other side you need earning also. So how do you balance your knowledge or hobby with
Well,
earning?
first of all, I've never believed in the idea that we are either only learning or only acting. Each one complements the other. It's like a
Mm-hmm.
spiral. You do
Mm-hmm.
something, you learn from it, and that helps you to learn a new thing, a new level. In terms of earning money, luckily, I like to live very simply. My wife puts up with living simply. She doesn't like it so much. But anyway, um, uh, by doing that, what it means is that I've had the time, now that I'm left academia and consulting, I have the time to really focus full time every day on all of these things. But I'm also, for example, we heat our home with firewood, and I cut and collect the firewood. I'm building a shed in the backyard. So
Mm-hmm.
I stay active in all kinds of ways, which I think is a sign of a full life.
Wow. But still, I'm wondering. I too have a backyard. I was also. For last, I think, more than 5 years. I'm thinking to make a backyard. But I thought that why the hell I should break my head?
Well, just let me know and let's work together on it, please.
Ultimately? What would you get by doing all those things? By studying more, by helping more, by doing more, by getting expertise more.
Uh,
What do you get?
well, I mean, again, we have so many different levels of who we are. But I think that part of it is doing, but also, for example, I'm lucky enough to live near a lake surrounded by forests. It's wonderful just to spend a 5 minute walk and go and just sit in nature. And I love doing that as well. I love just meditating. I meditate every day. So it's not just a matter of doing. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm active, but I'm active because I'm doing things that I care about. And when I'm ready to do something else, I do something else. So it's
Oh.
really a matter of living a life that's full and balanced.
With this, I'm wonderful. Really, I'm confused. That I think that the world is divided into two parts only. One is with the people who are enthusiastic, motivated, full of vigor and energy, whereas other side is
Right.
the world full of dullness. And those people, in any case, do not want to shift or to get motivated or to learn or to listen.
Right.
How do you tackle them?
Well, if I could wave a magic wand and change, because I agree with what you said. I mean, it's not quite that simple, but definitely true. Um, I would, if everybody had this understanding of their drives, of their resources, of the richness
Mhm.
of who they are, and how they're connected to the universe and each other and themselves and nature and so on. If everybody who has that, they cannot be smothered. They cannot be
Right.
held down by the outside world. They will break free. Everybody will do that. So this is my solution to the problem that you mentioned, which is that the people who feel as though they depend on the outside world to support them will always wait for support. The
Oh,
people who
yes.
feel like I have all the support I need to do whatever I need to do and decide to do, they're the ones who have that energy and the buoyancy, the resilience, and so on.
Great. Yes, I fully agree with you. Well, John, I got heap of questions to be asked, but the time do not permit me. Well, let me put a brake to my vehicle, take my vehicle on the other side, and here is the next session, which is known as the rapid fire session. For that, I request you to answer in as short as possible. And here is the first question for you to answer. That
Is this an exam? Is this
yeah,
an exam?
Yes, this is an exam. So please keep your wife next to you and ask.
Yeah.
She is the witness or examiner. She will be letting us know
Okay.
whether you passed or not. So first question: your belief that you will defend forever. What is that? One belief.
I'm sorry. Could you repeat that? What is the
Yeah,
one
one belief that you think that you would stick to it.
that restricts me? I'm sorry. I'm not hearing you. Okay. The one thing that restricts me is my lack of organization.
Oh, lovely.
No doubt about it.
Hmm. And if given a choice for having your deep thinking, what would you like to have? A cup of coffee or a cup of tea or meditation?
Uh, or meditation. Well, it depends. I'm a tea drinker. I do drink coffee a little bit, but I'm a
Mhm.
tea drinker.
Okay.
But in terms of meditation, I think I do that twice a day,
Oh,
and it helps me so much that
lovely,
it's really quite not exactly an option.
lovely, lovely. John, can you name one teeny habit that makes a big difference?
Okay, one habit is to spread your vision and to look beyond what seems to be directly in front of you. Because believe me, people will
Oh,
put something in front of you and think that this is the only way you can go. But if you
right.
look and say, wait a minute, if I look around, look at all of these things I can do. Some of them are fun, some aren't, some are just silly. Doesn't matter. If you can do that, then it will keep your mind and your opportunities open instead of restricting you.
Correct, correct. Yes. John, according to you, can you give one word that your friends would use to describe you? What is that?
Uh, One word that my friends would describe, I think, warm. I love people. But that
Ah,
other
lovely,
people might
lovely,
use
lovely.
as adventurous.
Very nice, very nice. And something that people take seriously about you. What is that?
Um, I guess, take seriously, I guess my desire to improve
Hmm.
myself and to help others improve.
Okay, okay. And when do you like to be when you think that life feels heavy?
Uh, well, one thing that I do, for example, if I feel frustrated or stuck or something like that, I think, good for me. Because there's a strength of being a feeling stuck and a feeling frustrated, because what it
Oh.
means is that you have a
Hmm.
purpose, that something is blocking that purpose, but you're determined to move through it if you can. Because the people who are really stuck are the ones who
Hmm.
don't feel stuck, the ones who are
Oh.
just sort of collapsed into whatever they've been given. But if you feel that frustration and if you feel that desire, then you're unstoppable.
Oh. John, what is one area that you go to reset when life feels heavy? What is that?
One thing in life that I want to research.
Yes.
uh, Well, I would love to learn. I don't. I won't. But I would love to learn the connections between our spiritual life, our intellectual life, and our physical life.
Oh,
I know that those are connected. I don't think that my mind is good enough to work that out, or even all of my five minds. But I would love to know that, because I think that's the whole game.
really? Very nice. Very nice. Would you like to give a one quote that you keep coming back to? One quote,
One
your
what?
one favorite quote.
A code? Um, Well, I think the code of contributing, if I can put it like that. I think I've been done a lot of volunteering, and I love it. If you can contribute, it really feeds you. It feeds your spirit and everything. So I would say the code that I would recommend is contributing.
Great. Wow. Well, John, still I have got so hundreds of questions to be asked, but time do not permit me. Well, thank you, thank you, thank you, and thank you once again for all the thoughtful and energizing conversation today. I truly enjoyed our exchange and appreciate
So
the
did I.
opportunity to share my work, my journey, and approaches I have developed. This is what you said. Your questions were really insightful and made the discussion meaningful. I am John, highly thankful, grateful to you, especially for the time that you have invested. I look forward for any future opportunities to continue the dialogue and collaborate with you with a one small request with folded hands that please spare time for us as and when we need, because we spread something good to the world, and you are the one who are the catalyst to do that, to help us to spread that. You are the one to make our strength manifolds. Once
Together we are global speakers talk. Together we are global speakers.